Hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. I am not Jeff. Beside me is Jeff. And also, Aaron, Derek, and Melissa have all made it in today. We are going to be playing some Perils and Princesses, Just Desserts, which is our Sweet Revenge campaign. Derek, did you manage to listen a little bit to the last episode? Calling you out?
Yeah, I know that I was carried away by a bird.
That's what I care about.
Yeah, I was say, this is now 2 weeks ago I listened to it, so I remember the bird part and a couple of other things, someone's arm being healed, and
and this is your summary, so pay attention, everybody. Yes, okay, so to remind ourselves what happened, last week, Lagolla, after drinking the shrinking potion, found herself dive-bombed and kidnapped by a white chocolate raven. She bit into its chocolatey flesh and quickly found herself falling from a great height for a tiny individual into suddenly much larger trees of the Tanglewood forest, and all of it sort of a darker danger that she's now found herself in. We'll come back to that. The rest of the princesses watched aghast, but quickly overcame their mourning period to push through the magic mist protecting the pixie village of Berrybrook and entering it. They found a somewhat cold welcome from the pixies, who believed the princesses were only there to steal from them, like the last large folk that had come in, claiming friendship. Quickly, there were calls for patrol leader Chestnut to come and deal with the princesses. Chestnut spent some time threatening the princesses, but started to soften with the introduction of Gallicrow's teddy bear and Adelaide healing his broken arm. He decided to bring the party to Queen Gardania, who they could gain sort of permission to enter the barricaded storehouse at Honeycrest Ranch, now known as the Rat King's Nest. It was also discovered that Chestnut had lost his beloved pet Glowy, during his last attempt at killing the Rat King. Queen Gardania granted the princesses permission and added that if they managed to bring her all the heads of the Rat King, so she could put them on pikes to decorate her castle, as she wanted to do, she would grant them a butterfly clip, which allowed them to fly as long as they were wearing it. Chestnut then led the princesses to Farmer Elmstrip, who showed them the entrance of the Rat King's nest in very plain English, completely comprehensible. If you didn't understand it, then that's on you. He had been injured during the feral bee attacks in the area and asked if anyone could heal his wing, like Chestnut's arm. He offered some of his honey cakes if they were able to help in the future. So there's another quest. Unfortunately, Adelaide had used her gift dice and rolled, so she didn't get it back. But it did mean that Chestnut was available to help them with the starting section of the Rat King's Nest. They declined any additional tools from the farmer entering it. They went to the left side, which was, according to Chestnut, sort of the smaller section of the map, and managed to find the food storehouse and a potion storehouse, which filled them with a miasma of magical effects. They all rolled really unlucky. I will inform you, there was one that would definitely have just healed you up to full HP. None of that stuff for the party. It's all incorporealness and blindness. They did manage to get through the magic miasma into the food storehouse and found a Glowy on the ceiling, rescuing him after a few attempts at attacking and some bad rolls. We have now found ourselves back out of that area. Glowy and Chestnut have taken off out the front entrance, and our princesses stand in a quiet sort of area in the Rat King's Nest, except for suddenly realizing that there's a sort of a hum that is continuous throughout. And actually, no, not a hum, a buzz that's happening a little further down the right side of the map. But They are currently only 3 princesses, Letty, Gallicrow, and Adelaide. We are missing someone. I really hope you can't hear the police car outside right now.
Oh, we heard. They're coming for you. I heard it.
They've
They're
found
coming for you.
Look
out.
Found out about your book collection.
There has been a downpour of rain and continuous emergency vehicles driving by my place. It's great. I'm really sorry. So, Lady Lagolla, you have been kidnapped and now fallen from a great height, and you closed your eyes as you fell and kind of just hoped for the best because you don't have any way of stopping yourself from just falling to the ground.
Yeah, where do I make a splat?
Yeah, luckily, luck was on your side a little bit here, as a small branch seems to have caught you, and you find yourself near the top branches of a large tree in the dense Tanglewood forest. You can see the magical mists a little distance away, but right now, you need to get down and get back there.
Is the branch, like, is it just like a dead tree, or does it have leaves on it still?
This tree, it is, let's call it a pine tree. The small branches do have pine needles in them, and it does appear to be quite alive. You could definitely get back down with the right sort of tools.
Has there been any non-pine needle type leaves grafted onto the tree in a symbiotic relationship so that I can make a squirrel suit to glide down? That was what I was hoping for.
Oh, right. So I shouldn't take the trees that I see outside and actually just give you something with leaves.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I do have natural climber as an innate ability. I was just thinking of, since I'm tiny, I could maximize, my distance by gliding down. But I will just natural climber down the tree.
Sure.
So advantage and virtue test.
So as you detangle yourself from these small branches and get ready to climb down the tree, give me a quick wits roll.
Doke. Actually, it's a D20, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to use the straight roll instead of the character sheet.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. 7, and that's you
good.
Shouldn't have anything that high. So below 7, you pass. You realize you're also hearing a little chittering, and looking to your right on this sort of top branch, you see a squirrel starting to poke its head out of a hole. You can't tell yet if it's a candy squirrel or a normal squirrel, but you do see a squirrel.
Well, so my other innate ability where I can speak with animals and intuit their feelings, how are we using the intuit word in this universe? Is this just I tell it I'm like, what's his face from the Mutants, Charles Xavier?
What's his face? You're
I'm frazzled right now.
Two very
he made an X-Men reference.
Lore.
He made an X-Men reference, though.
He did make the X-Men. I do appreciate that. It was the wrong mutant.
Apparently don't bother with the attempt unless you get it right. This is what we've learned today.
For as far as intuiting their feelings, I would say that you can get a sense of that, but you have to engage with the squirrel to actually figure that out. You can't just unless I would say if you spent an action, if you gave me a wits roll with that kind of purpose, I would give it to you, but otherwise you could only get it passively when you're actually engaging with the creature.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, then I'll try a wits roll. So sure. We'll tempt fate again with the dice. That fails. I have a 10 in wits.
All right. Do you have... No, you don't have... all right. I'm just going to... Don't worry about this. Interesting. Okay. So you're not sure if this is a friendly or unfriendly squirrel. You know that the candy curse is going to get stronger over time, but you have seen normal squirrels and in fact talked to them earlier today. As it starts to claw its way out of this hole, pulling the rest of its body out, you realize it's probably 3 centimeters taller than you at this point in time. And you realize as it's climbing out, it does not have any candy on it yet. You
Perfect.
think your odds might be good. You haven't talked to it yet, but right now it's not bad.
Okay. So having a squirrel mount would be much faster than using my tiny legs. So I'm going to attempt to talk to it and be like, "Hello, dear. Can I bother you for a favor in exchange for something?"
You have food?
Yeah, of course.
I'm hungry.
Yes, here.
You're
First one's on the house.
small and fleshy looking, though. I could eat you.
You could, but I don't think you would enjoy the process. You see, I have my blood's made of poison.
Oh. Roll me a wits to see if it can understand what you're trying to suggest.
We're really going on these.
Oh, sorry.
Wouldn't this be
Actually,
a social grace?
This is a
on
grace.
lying to
Sorry.
it?
Yeah. This is a social grace. This
As
is
I
grace.
suspected, yes.
Hmm.
Ooh,
Very
that's
good.
a 4.
Oh, but you know where more food is?
I can give you some food now as a gesture of good faith, and
Yes.
I can give you some more food if you can help me get to my friends.
Okay. Give me the food.
Yeah, so I do pull out because I have 6 I have 6 pieces of trail food. So is this like an acceptable quantity to a squirrel now that I've shrunk?
Are you going to give it all 6 or are you going to ration it out?
I was gonna give it 1 because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much we use the rations in this game to like stay alive.
You haven't needed them yet, but you do know food is getting more scarce as the days go on. So you give it 1, it grabs it, shoves it at one tooth, which bulges out on one side, and the other hand comes out.
And I'll give it a second one.
All right, it grabs it, shoves it in its mouth. It looks at you. It looks at your backpack that you've pulled this food out of and goes, "Okay, I will help. More food after."
Yes, we can come to an agreement on that.
Okay. Are you fast? Can you keep up?
No. Well, I was hoping that you could give me a ride if that's okay. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I'm very slow, unfortunately. I only have 2 legs.
Slow 2 legs. Weird creature. Okay. Hold on, and it will scamper next to you. And you've got this red squirrel. They got the little tuffy ears, bulging cheeks from your food. And it seems to be holding still, waiting for you to make the next action.
Yeah, I'll try to gently climb up and not pull any fur out and just get into a secure spot and hold on.
Okay. And it starts to take off. It scampers straight to the end of the branch that you're already standing on. You feel the weight of yourself and the squirrel start to actually pull it down a little bit, and it jumps off. There's nothing below you but air. I need just a quick, we'll do a quick grace check on this.
Now, could I make a argument for using my natural climber ability to get advantage on this?
Yeah, that's an acceptable argument. I'll accept that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you advantage on that. You are alone right now. Ooh, it's so...
Can I have double advantage?
Our lovely lady Lagolla has just rolled a critical fail, and then an 18 is the good roll, which is well above any of her stats. So as this squirrel is jumping over this chasm between one tree to the next, a beautiful sort of grassy field below you, you feel the fur slip from your grip as you start to fall. We're going to give you one more chance. We will say you can try to grab the tail as you're falling if you give me one more quick grace check. Straight roll.
Can I make another argument for advantage?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I happen to have a fishing kit with fishing line. So could I use this
which you
to
have?
try
You have that in your hand right now?
It's in my...
In this 3 seconds that you're falling off the squirrel's back?
I have a foldable paper fan. Could I ride that as if some sort of magical... All right, I'll make a straight roll.
This is the arguments you'll want after you fail this roll. Yeah, here we go.
All right, guys,
Okay.
I'm just gonna log off for tonight. It was great.
So that would be a 15
Continue.
from Derek. All right. As you just try to grab for that tail and you feel instead the whiff of air as it leaves your grasp, and you feel like you're standing on air for just that 1 second, like Wile E. Coyote, before gravity catches up with you and you start to feel it just start to pull you down towards the hard earth below you, like Letty's flesh.
Oh dear.
Now you can make your fan argument, as we are going to be taking damage unless you give me something that slows you down.
I mean, yeah, the only two things I have are a foldable paper fan, but like that would have shrunk down with me.
Yes, yeah.
So then really it's just like the fishing kit with the line and using like the hook or the lure or the sinker, the
Okay.
weight to like lasso essentially.
Sure.
And-
Let's try one last grace check to reduce the amount of damage. Let's see if you can swing on anything with your fishing line. Here we go. Roll maybe real dice? Nope. All right. Yeah. So roll real
No.
dice. You got a real set close by. You can go grab it. I don't mind. Thinking quickly, Lady Lagolla pulls out her fishing line cleverly. Real dice are here. All right. Throwing out her sort of fishing line that almost wraps around a tree perfectly, but that hook doesn't hook the other line, and it just as quickly unravels from the branch that she's wrapped around, and you are going to take, let's say, you are small, and you're wearing a dress with a skirt hike, so you actually do have a fair good amount of friction, and this is a fairy tale. We'll only give you a d6 of damage, 3. As you hit the ground.
Does the armor do anything? Because I have 1 point of armor, so does that negate it
We're
down
going
to 2?
to say normally yes, like if you're fighting a creature it would, but because this is fall damage specifically, we're going to just say it's straight damage roll for this one. And you find yourself impacted on the ground, the grass just kind of floating around you like beautiful little wings of birds, and sort of facing up towards the sun, looking at these 2 tree branches that the squirrel had just tried to jump across. You see it having turned around, and a little squirrel head poked up from the top branch as it looks down at you, and then it disappears. And you start to hear little scripping and scrampling and realize it is climbing down the tree to you. And it goes, no good at climbing. No, and it kind of like reaches a paw out and like pokes you and pushes you a little bit. Alive?
Yes, where are we?
Next to the big tree with the other tree, and a bunch of my acorns are over there, and then you hear more chittering as sort of the impact and your conversation, and you see, still staring up, a number of other squirrels have started to appear on the branches above you.
Oh, we probably should get out of here in case one of those friends is not actually friendly. So my friends went that way. Can you take me to them? I have suffered a contusion.
You definitely suffered. Okay, I think you're bending the right way. Okay. And it kind of looks at you having brought this fishing rod out, and the line that it has. It go, okay, can you, and it'll take the line and it kind of like ties it around its own waist a little bit. Hold on better?
Yes, thank you. I should have done that from the beginning.
Okay. And then it looks up and you also look up and the heads have disappeared and you start to hear a lot of skittering coming down.
We should probably go now. A lot of people are coming, I think.
Yeah. Some of my friends are crazy now, but yes. Let's go. And it's going to sort of drag you up onto its back, not gently at all, and it starts to take off. Yeah, you're jolted back as the sudden speed and inertia of this squirrel takes off. It's running on the ground now. It doesn't seem to think that you can hold on well, so it's not risking the sky. But as you're running, you see and hear sort of the vibrations of the earth just by being this small. And as you're going one direction on a tiny squirrel, the hoof of a large white horse hits the ground quite close to you, and looking up, you see the chocolate knight as he walks by as you run the other direction. He doesn't seem to notice you, and the instant passes quickly, but he's close by the Berrybrook city. And you hit the mist with this squirrel, and the squirrel and you find yourselves separated. The squirrel seems to be a little bit too big to go through for some reason. As you find yourselves tumbling forwards away as the squirrel just magically disappears below you, and you roll out of the mist into what appears to be a very small village. You kind of see, let me just double check here. There we go. Activate. There we go. So you see a sort of a small town made with stumps and trees and mushrooms, and there's a little bridge, and you see a bunch of people kind of flying around with wings, and there's a beautiful tree a little further on with these sort of white leaves and what appears to be small holes that illuminate light from the inside out, built into the nature of it, but you do not see your friends.
So is there anybody around?
Yes. So as you're looking around, you do see a sort of a pixie. Not necessarily that you know, but you can deduce that easily enough. It appears to be riding a snail. It's trying to like chug the snail away from you, and you can tell from the little line of slime, this isn't the first time it seems to have been going down here and then had to turn around abruptly. And yeah, he seems to be the closest fellow. You see more townsfolk across the bridge towards the town square area.
Do I see footprints that would look vaguely like a straw or a stick person and then two princesses?
Yeah, sure. Give me a wits roll.
Stop!
You got real dice. You showed me the bag of real dice that you just got. Why are you still rolling digitally?
I don't know.
That's 19.
I have a concussion.
I have a concussion. Yes, you do. You don't see anything that would hint at your friends having come in this direction.
All right, so holding her head, she's going to shout at the person on the snail. I just quickly need to have you seen... Go
away.
No
humans.
I don't have time for that. I'm with the three people that came by. Did you see three people? One looks like rocks, one looks like she's got stuff growing on her face, and one looks like they're made of sticks.
Fine.
I'm their friend.
Alone.
I'm late. I'm late.
I'm late. Go to the farm. It's that way. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to any like non-winged people.
All right, she starts going the opposite direction because of her confusion, because she's got a concussion. And then she's like, oh, the farm is that way?
Yes. You're 180. You're going the wrong way. Oh, my God. Why are you all so dumb if you can't fly?
Okay. Yes, I'm okay. And she goes to the farm. I almost bought the farm.
Yes. And sort of as you get there, you see a little fellow with a tiny little set of overalls and this flower cap that sort of bends up as like a farmer's hat, but made out of only one flower that he's wearing on his head. It's a new person. Welcome to the farm.
Thank you. I'm looking for 3 friends that came through here.
Oh, yeah, over there.
Okay, thank you. And she'll go that direction.
So as you go in, you find several warped pieces of plywood on the ground and a hole into what appears to be a sort of tunnel into the earth. Listening closely, you can start to hear sort of English. You hear the human chatter of a language you recognize. And then as you're standing there, a little fellow holding a little glowing worm starts tumbling out of this layer. Oh, hi. I'm Chestnut. What are you doing here? This is Glowy. He's mine. You can't have him.
Well, there's 2 of you right now. Which one are you, on my left or on my right?
I'm in front of you. Uh-huh.
Oh, my 3 friends. I hear talking down there. I'm late. They needed me a little while ago, but I fell into a tree.
Letty,
Yeah.
Adelaide, Gallicrow. Yeah, they're awesome. Gallicrow has a teddy bear that is like so cool and glowy, and Gallicrow got on really well, and we worked together. And Adelaide is incorporeal, and yeah, they're just right there.
Okay, thank you. And I'm happy that you have Glowy. And she'll stumble down into the hole, slipping on rocks.
And with that, you find yourself entering the Rat King's lair. Your friends have hand-wavedly across the potion miasma again, because we're not going to re-roll on that, back to the entrance area and seem to be waving goodbye to Chestnut as he runs up the stairs and having tumbled out of the Rat King's lair's hole. Nope, that's not good.
We're stumbling.
He's out of the lair.
We're stumbling.
Yeah.
We're stumbling.
Yes. But yeah, you 4 meet up once more, having cleared the top right section of the lair, and you have everybody. You can take a picnic. You can keep going. Lagolla, as you enter here, it's densely quiet, and then you also start to hear what first you think is just a hum, and then you just realize it's the low, continuous buzzing of something living in the next room over.
Oh, this will go great with the ringing in my ears. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Lagolla, it's so good to see you. And Adelaide is gonna come up as if to give you a hug, and then just sort of do the arms. Just
Adelaide passes right through you.
Oh. That's new. Hold on, I need to vomit, and she'll just find a wall and throw up again.
Oh no! Oh! Things haven't been so good inside here, and it seems like things haven't been so good for you either.
Have you ever fallen about 15 feet while you're 6 inches tall?
No, that sounds awful.
My head feels like it's being stepped on by the chocolate knight I just passed.
Don't we need to know where he is?
You saw the chocolate knight? Did you
defeat
him?
Yes, actually.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Good job.
Well, lady, would you like some gravy-covered curds? It might make you feel better.
I'm afraid I just
cavity and pulls a big clunk of it out.
Oh, my dear, I just vomited, and I don't know if I'm ready for something quite that nutritious.
Well, okay, if you want it, just let me know. And he stuffs it back in amongst the straw inside of his chest cavity.
Do we want a picnic? Or do we want to keep going?
You don't look so good. Lagolla, are you ready to get back to it, or do you need a breather?
Well, I could definitely use some time to restuff the stuffing. I'm all stuffed out.
Okay. Well, sure. So yeah, let's take a break in this creepy rat and bee infested place that made a Adelaide a ghost. Okay, yeah.
The
Okay.
entrance is open. You could
Uh-huh.
just step outside a little bit
Okay.
as well as
Hey,
an option.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's go outside and take a picnic. You know, just to get
I
a
love
breather.
picnicking outside with my best friends. Let's do that.
Really good idea.
It's the best place to have a picnic is not in here. Really, just about anywhere but here would be a perfect place.
All right. As you guys follow Chestnut back out of the Rat King's lair, let's pop that. You have sort of the shock of just daylight and grass and living things. Lagolla, with the concussion, actually finds the extreme light difficult, but you feel that sort of now familiar syrupy breath of air and the warmth of sort of a living environment. As you guys kind of like reach into that place within you where you have that connection to your fairy godmothers, someone pulls out a picnic blanket that just magically kind of appears as you sort of meditate on that connection, and a picnic basket appears as well. You know that it's more or less for show. You do need to eat your own rations to have a picnic, but it is charming as little teacups and little saucers and picnic baskets and plates all appear ready for you to use. If they are based on your own fairy godmother, so let's say, Letty, what do you think your little teacup that would appear for your connection? What would it kind of look like?
Probably something like stoneware, you know, something a little bit rough around the edges, sturdy, that sort of thing, I think.
Stoneware is also very expensive and very nice, but yes.
I'm from, you know, the J Peak. We got a lot of jade there too, you know.
Got the good money.
Yeah.
Adelaide, what kind of teacup do you think would appear for you?
It's interesting. So fairy godmother has to do with like silvery mist and speaking riddles on the wind. So it's
you chose, yeah.
Yeah. I think that the teacup would be like sort of fashioned from like leaves. So it's perhaps doesn't always hold the tea 100% of the time, but it is sort of like collapsible, and then it, you know, kind of like drop it back out with the leaves.
Nice. And Gallicrow, what do you think your fairy godmother would kind of gift you as a teacup?
So my fairy godmother is Han Wei, the avatar of the moon. So I think Gallicrow's teacup is this very delicate looking glass teacup that glows slightly, as if it's reflecting light.
Very nice. And Lady Lagolla of the bad luck, what do you think your teacup would look like?
A big D20 with a 20 showing up.
Yeah, that's about right.
So I'm going to combine. So because my fairy godmother is a shape changer, and one of my vices or one of my personality quirks is indulging in vices, it's going to be a wineskin because it can change shapes and is for alcohol.
Very nice. All right. So as you guys kind of sit down, taking a breather in this environment that's so much more welcoming than where you just came from, you fill up your teacups with whatever drinks you have and pull food out of your backpacks. Now we are again going to change the picnic a little bit mechanically. You can either use your heart die, your D4, to heal yourself, or if you can't or don't have a heart die to use, you get one back for picnicking and use it perhaps in battle to help your friends or something.
I'm going to use my heart die to heal.
Okay. I feel like that's going to be the general consensus. I'm just opening the door for, that's a lovely one.
Son of a... Of course.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Of course.
I got my heart die back, So I'm just sipping on my tea, eating my trail food.
Maybe you feel the hand of a crone kind of on your shoulder. Oh, it's good to hear from you again, dear.
Godmother, do I really gotta go inside here and kill a bunch of rats? Godmother?
Yes, everyone will die if you don't.
Oh, well, sure, that takes some of the pressure off. Thank you.
Always, dear. Good to hear from you.
We'll be successful. Don't worry. I'll make you proud. I promise.
Excellent. Please pwn those newts. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Yes.
You got it, dearie.
Okay, thanks for
360
dropping
no scope.
by.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Nice. That's just a little inside joke she and I have. Yeah, we're very close. Yeah.
Nobody else
Conversations
heard
that are happening.
No one else heard that.
Sorry.
You're the only one that. Sorry, I should have maybe defined that. You're the only one that hears your fairy godmother is not visible to anybody else, and nobody else.
But he's still going to say that. So
okay.
It's just a little joke she and I have. Don't worry. And just sipping her stoneware. Lagolla, are you okay?
So Adelaide, is it?
No, I'm Letty.
What? No. So no, this was for Adelaide.
Oh, okay.
When you have a concussion, are you supposed to have hard tea? Tea with some bite to it?
No, I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure when you have a concussion, you should not be imbibing anything that is spiked.
Who are you talking to?
What? Oh, my fairy godmother. She was here. She was giving me a little bit of a pep talk, making sure everything was okay.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, just making sure that
Oh, Lagolla passed out.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking, Lagolla, are you taking the healing or are you taking the HD die back? Or sorry, heart die back.
I think I had one based on the PDF I have saved to my computer. So I rolled a 2. So I've got 2 points back.
All right. And Adelaide, are you getting that die back or are you getting that health?
I rolled a 3. So I'm back up to 7 health.
Nice. All right. And Adelaide, as you're sitting here, and it was really hard to pick up your teacup initially, but over time, the picnic takes about an hour. You do find that you suddenly can see your fingers without seeing the grass and without seeing the picnic blanket. And you can feel your face again. And you reach out and hit Lagolla in the face. You can feel Lagolla again.
Why would you do this?
Oh, I thought I was just checking, just checking, and sort of that thing where you kind of accidentally, and then you just kind of pat gently, sorry,
yes,
sorry, just.
My head is very,
checking.
Very sensitive right now, my dear. It feels like I was hit by a large carriage, I almost said truck.
You were hit by a really large rock because your head hit the earth, and that's a really, 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 really big rock.
Yes.
Technically true. As the incorporealness wears off after an hour, you are yourself again.
I imagine Adelaide was sort of had put the cup sort of on the ground and was just sort of laying kind of on the ground, just kind of very gently tipping it to drink it. And then sits up and it's Gallicrow, Letty, I think I'm me again. And she's waving her hands in front of
and
her
as
face.
Adelaide does that,
Hello.
I need someone to volunteer to roll me a D6 to see if we have a fun event or if we're okay just to go back into the Rat King's lair.
Guys, I couldn't possibly roll a 7th die in a row.
You don't get to roll.
I'll let you guys choose who is going to roll it. 1, 2, and 3, and we're in okay territory. 4, 5, and 6. Fun event for me.
All right,
Specifically, the fun event is for me. All right, Aaron.
Go ahead.
Let's have some fun.
All right. So as Adelaide is kind of standing and gesturing and joyously exuberating how they are solid again, the grass behind her has started to decompress back and forth. And you realize, watching her, that behind her, something is coming that's low to the ground. And give me a wits roll. Let's see who's going first here. As the head of a large candy cane snake elevates itself up and starts to go for a bite. We'll not do a surprise. We're just going to do a.
Those Norse Foundry dice are really coming in clutch. I rolled a 10.
Hey, Norse Foundry.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Great dice.
I got an 8 under 9.
Nice.
Shockingly
All right.
fast.
So Gallicrow gets to go before. How about Adelaide?
Failed 13 over 12.
As classic, yep. And let's see, Letty.
12 under 15. Success.
Right. And Lagolla, you said they did you good success? Great.
Yeah, I met at 10. They met my wits.
All right. Lagolla, Gallicrow, and Letty, you guys have an opportunity. Actually, this makes a lot of sense because Adelaide is facing the wrong direction. You three are looking at her and see the snake coming up ready to strike. You have the opportunity to do something.
Why do you look so concerned? I'm not see-through anymore. You can see me now. You should be happy. Why aren't you happy?
Duck!
No, sillies, it's a snake! It's not a duck, it's a snake!
Snake duck! Snake duck, friends!
All right, so one of you guys has to take the first action, either engage or maybe escape into the lair.
Would the snake be able to follow us if we went down the hole? Or is it small enough to slither in there?
I'm going to say the snake is going to be too large to slip its head into the Rat King's lair.
Okay. Where is the hole juxtaposed to us?
So you guys, let me just see if this will. I'm just going to grab your overworld token. So you guys are literally just kind of. It's very large. But you're picnicking kind of just to the side of the Rat King's lair. You're maybe a move action away from entering it. But yeah, so it's still a little risky to get in there.
Could I use my action to grab Adelaide and then my movement action to move us both toward the mouth of the Rat King's lair?
So yes, I will. I'm happy to do that. That is going to be a resolve test.
Okay.
All right, roll me that resolve.
Can we consider Adelaide tricky terrain because she has a will of her own?
not to give you any bonuses, no.
I mean, the ground is tricky because there's a snake on it.
It's true. This is a tricky situation.
Tricky.
Yeah. Come on, give me the roll.
Hey, that's a 4.
All right.
Oh,
so you do
look, those
manage
North
to
Foundry dice.
grab Adelaide, and she's maybe not even sure what's going on just yet. And you pull her around. Adelaide, you get spun in a way that allows you to see this snake head right next to your face. It's sort of little tongue sticking out as these candy cane teeth are dripping just straight sugar down towards you. You get yanked away by Lady Lagolla as she pulls you straight towards the hole.
Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Everyone get in the hole.
All right. Lagolla, I'm going to say you and Adelaide are now in the hole. Gallicrow and Letty.
You see, Gallicrow will use his bizarre and acrobatic maneuvers to try to get in the hole. So you see him sort of twist down almost into a crab-like shape, and he's almost rolling and twisting and scuttling towards the hole. You're muted, Kipser.
I'll give you a grace roll for that. Let's see if you can acrobatics your way into the hole.
Now, since I have cat-like as an innate ability, I get a advantage on acrobatics.
And this is why we
Confusing
describe
all of the
things the way
animals.
we do. Yes, take that advantage.
All right. Let's see if I can do as bad as...
You
I did.
can.
Hey, but my grace is 15. So I
Oh,
passed.
just make it.
Oh,
Wow.
yay.
So there's maybe a little more tumbling than grace in these sort of acrobatics, but you do manage to slip into the Rat King's lair before the snake gets its turn. That leaves Letty.
Okay, so Letty is like, oh, great. So she's just gonna freak out a little bit. Then she's gonna throw a bit of some of her food on the ground. It's like, fetch, and then she's gonna try to race into the race after Gallicrow.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you a wits for that one.
Oh, perfect! I'm so glad it's wits.
I knew what you were aiming for.
Yeah.
No, that's wits.
8 under 15. Yeah, that's Lisa.
Nice. So with that
Yay.
distraction, the head snake snaps towards the food and it lunges at that movement. And in that moment, you take that opportunity to deke the other way and sort of manage to slip in under the Rat King's lair entrance into the depth again as you guys get back into it, having had a nice little rest. And an introduction to some of your fairy godmothers. So you know that there's the potion storeroom and the food storeroom. Already cleared those out. Now, Chestnut did mention that there were weapon storerooms, but beyond that was not really something that the Pixies had properly built, or that they'd changed so much that he wasn't really sure what they would be considered anymore. And you
Lagolla,
hear that buzzing again. That starts
We already
to
went
just...
that way. We don't have to go that way. We already went that way, and that's where some of the bad stuff happened. So we can
Does
just
it have to
go
be so dark down here?
You do find that the darker, it is quite dark. So the deeper you go in, the darker it will be. You will want a light source in the next few rooms.
Can you smile for me, Adelaide? I think your smile could brighten the room up.
I'm all out. And like her smile is sort of like made up of the little berries, and she's all out of berries. So she doesn't really have a smile right now. But she will reach into her bag. And she says like, oh, I'm all out right now, but I have a torch. And so she'll reach into her bag and she'll light a torch.
Nice. All right. As you guys, I assume, will now bravely go into the next room. Are you just going to walk in? Are we sneaking in? Are we running in with weapons?
I think Gallicrow would be very kind of stealthily approaching with his spearmint spear held at the ready.
All right. So as you enter this room, kind of a little low to the ground, a little close to the walls beside you, you notice, let me get rid of that, that half of this room appears to have been a weapons storeroom, as Chestnut had said. And you can kind of see like these broken or rotted bits of wood from spears and some like the tips of arrows without the shaft. And then you see sort of on the other side that buzzing intensified as you realize there's maybe 10 bees across from you building honeycomb fresh. And you see some of the sort of, this maybe was started before the candy curse had really started to take over, because you see that within some of these honeycombs, the honey is just like not properly cared for. It started to spill out, and in other air, and it looks like something has dug in and just gouged on that honey. In other sort of pockets of the honeycomb, you see just dead larvae. They're not cared for their young anymore. And you see the sort of these bees in front of you are not what you would expect either. They're probably half your size right now. And they're swarming against the walls and gouging on this honey themselves, just smashing their own honeycomb before some of them, some sort of innate part of their brain, they go and they spit it back out and they start building more honeycombs, and then they gouge and they eat it and then they build it back up. And you can see that rot may have set in with them as their bodies are becoming more honey-like, and they've started to kind of like stick to the walls themselves, and their legs will rip off as they can't pull them out, and there's a bunch of limbs missing, and their sort of butt area has holes in it as if something else has gouged into the bee itself and then tried to build a honeycomb in there, and it's just started to drip honey that as itself is decomposing. And you look at the ground and it is covered in just honey, and you think maybe there were more bees at one point in time. But these guys are blocking as you look further on. A little south is a little stairway, and these are in the way right now.
Adelaide,
Yes, Lagolla.
do you have another torch?
Yes, I do.
So, a lot of times when I'm walking with a torch out, the bugs are drawn to it. They seem to like light for some reason. Do you think you could try and throw your torch in a corner to distract the bees and see if they go toward it, and then we can get by them?
I was also thinking that I heard that if I make the fire be a little more smoky, that's something that you can do with bees, is you can like smoke them.
I've never smoked a bee before, but I'll try.
Oh, not that way, but yes, I have another, and so she'll grab another torch, and then like as she sort of sets the torch, she'll kind of make it so that it'll burn with a little bit more smoke to it.
Sure. Give me a wits roll for this. This is going to be a hard thing to do with just a torch and not any other resources. So I'm going to say
give her, so I have a leather-bound diary. Could I take some pages out of the diary to burn the paper for advantage?
I will take away disadvantage if you give her paper to burn. How about that?
The lowest I can go is advantage, I'm afraid.
Oh, the highest I can go is a straight roll, I'm afraid.
All right.
All right, so give me that roll against your wits, Adelaide.
That is a 9 under 12.
Nice. So as you kind of use these papers, maybe a little bit of wet water to make it moistened and cause more smoke with the fire, roll me a D10, please.
D10?
Yes.
That's like the one that I don't know.
Oh, sorry. It's the one you didn't get? Yeah.
It's got half as many faces as a D20.
You should just do it. That's why Derek's rolling well now, is that he's just rolling D10s now.
Quiet.
Wow, look at this 10 I got.
Oh, single digits again? Wow.
Yeah,
I just
wow.
rolled
That's like
well.
really, the
Look at
luck's
that.
turned 180.
That's a 2.
A 2. So as you see with this smoke and you throw maybe the torch or the air, if this area starts to fill in, you see 2 of the bees start to sort of fall down and sort of smelling it, maybe passing out a little bit into the pool of honey that was at one point in time bees. And they also then seem to super rot at an accelerated rate, and you see them just landing in this honey and starting to melt as 2 of the bees are gone. With this action, however, you have attracted Max, shush. With this action, however, you have attracted the attention of the other 8 bees. You've managed to take 2 of them out. Let's all roll wits one more time
on that D10. 2 is
so
not
you got
what I
like a
was looking for.
surprise action. You could have rolled a 10. All of the bees would have been gone.
I could have. I clearly did not.
Yeah.
Derek had a good job switching over to Norse Foundry. I have no quite as good.
I got it.
Wow. Nice.
Oh.
Right on again. I
got
got
a
Aaron's
right on it.
Aaron's luck with
I got a
dice is just
4.
ridiculous. Oh,
That a boy.
Melissa got it this time. Oh, sorry, Letty.
I'm good too. 15 on
Good.
15.
15
Yeah.
on 15. Lagolla.
I rolled a 7 under 10.
All right, so you guys all have the opportunity to act before these bees get to you, but they have your attention now, and you have theirs. Anybody can go.
How big are
So
they again?
Gallicrow has a trapping net.
Half your size.
Can he throw his trapping net and try to get multiple bees and knock them down in the honey to rot them too?
Ooh, I like the idea. Sure, let me think here. So a net, I'm going to call that a grace. And I'm going to say we'll roll a d6 for how many if you hit them. So roll the grace first.
All right. Yes.
Excellent. And then
Nice.
roll me a d6, please. Okay,
Not
so
bad.
with an excellent throw of this net, you manage to trap, and maybe this honey sticking bees sort of help with that, to trap 4 of them in one sweep as it comes down and they splat into this pool of what you now realize is just dead bee honey. And you see all 3 of them. They're taking the net is stuck in them right now. They're still composed enough that pulling it out would probably take some effort, but you've got 4 more of them down. So you guys have 4 bees left.
Letty would like to try to follow up on that. Letty would like to try to cause a controlled cave-in, and is going to kind of like reach up and out towards like the ceiling, the earth, the stone, and then try and manipulate it with her innate ability. Actually, no, with her shape ability, excuse me, and see if I can bring any of it down on some of the bees that Gallicrow didn't already net.
Sorry, this is a gift die. You're saying innate ability or a gift die ability?
It's a gift die, so I can manipulate an amount of my element that fits within dice times 5 cubic feet and form it into specific shapes. So I was just going to form it into like you said, they're apple size. So apple size rocks to just drop on them.
Half
Or
your
maybe
size.
even
Half your size.
Oh, half. Okay, then I
Sorry.
would form them. Yeah, I would form it then into just like a big flat block then to sort of drop down.
Okay, let's first off roll your gift die. See if you get to use it again later. 2. Okay,
2
so
on my
that does
gift die.
regenerate. 2 is a weak hit with the gift die. So I'm going to say, but there are only 4 left. Roll me a d4. We'll see how
It's
many.
10 cube. It would be 10 cubic
10
feet
cubic feet.
because the dice roll, the gift die roll defines how big of a shape I can make, and so in this case, it would be 10 cubic feet. So
all right. With the use of the gift die, I will. Okay.
A little over 2 feet aside.
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine the shapes in my head. With this sort of flat surface, you kind of just take the ceiling and squish the bees down towards the honey. And you do manage to sort of squish all 4 of them before sort of pulling the ceiling back up again so that it doesn't actually cause issues with your travel. And you've gotten all 10 of these bees that seem to have been creating new honeycombs
Letty,
in them.
that was amazing.
I've never seen somebody press like that before.
Gallicrow will scoop up some honey and put it on his gravy-covered curd and then offer it to Lady Lagolla. Would you like this now? This might be better. It'll be sweet.
I really appreciate it, but I see some bits of stone just, my teeth.
What's wrong with stone?
I don't know. I think stone is fantastic.
Have you ever tried
just
to
help
chew?
save your life?
Yes, but I don't want to chew on it per se. I don't mean any disrespect, but my teeth are delicate.
Why not? Well, they're delicate because you haven't been chewing on stone since you were young, and if you had been, well, then they would be sturdy and they could take it.
Now, see, maybe we can start tomorrow and work up to that.
So Gallicrow
that was
fish out his
great.
net.
Yes, you can definitely fish out your net. Your net is currently kind of sticking to itself. You might need to wash it later for proper use without probably a resolute test or something to try to yank it apart and use it, but it's going to keep sticking together without washing.
He's okay with that.
All right. You've got your net back.
And he shoves a little bit of honey in his chest too for later.
Are you sure you want to do that? It looked like it did bad things to the bees when they went in the honey. Are you sure you want that honey in your chest?
I'm sure it'll just help all my stuff stick together better in there.
Yeah,
it keeps falling out anyway.
But what if it does
I am
going to
need a resolute check from you,
to
please.
sticking together?
But I just like honey. This is going to go well.
Yeah.
It went okay. My resolve is 12. So
with that roll, yes. Currently, the honey, it just helps him stick together. He is correct.
You
Currently,
know,
she says.
I should just trust that you know.
I feel
goes
some
best
foreshadowing in
you.
the air right now.
absolutely, Adelaide. After all, I am now 8 days old. So I know a lot.
Mm-hmm. You really do. And there's no one else like you in the world. So you know you best of all.
All right. Now, as you guys kind of stand here having this discussion, retrieving your items and or clearing the way a little bit more, you realize that the humming that you had been hearing, it's lessened a little bit, but it's still perpetuating, and you can feel it in your bones and kind of rattling your skulls around.
Looking at these bees, are these like worker bees, soldier bees? Is there a way like we can make a check? Just make Letty's thinking maybe there's a queen bee in here somewhere, and that's
roll me wits. That would be a wits check.
Cool. 12 under 15, so that's a success.
These seem to be like your standard worker bee. They're definitely not queen bees in here. You know that sort of the queen bee is larger and it has maybe a mark on its back depending on the species. These are just plain worker bees.
Yeah, so she'll convey that there might be other bees, soldier bees and a queen bee further in. So so just be careful and yeah, that's probably the buzzing. That's probably the buzzing.
I think between what you can do and like bring the ceiling down and what Gallicrow can do with the net, I think we maybe have a good plan.
Or we could just make friends with them.
Yeah, you can definitely just go make friends with everybody.
We could say, well, now that you've got the honey inside of you, you're kind of like a bee yourself.
I hadn't thought of it that way. That's right. I'll make friends with them.
Right.
Adelaide looks over to Lagolla. Lagolla, you could just talk to them.
Yes, if we do run across any further ones that aren't rotting carcasses, I could see if they're willing to speak.
Yeah.
I don't think I can talk with the dead.
Fly you up into the sky and drop you.
I already had that experience once. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Well,
Was that fun? It sounds like fun. Nobody's ever dropped me.
Well, it made me throw up, and I had double vision, and there's a lot of things. What did you
see with double vision?
I saw double of everything, as the name kind of implies.
Well, that sounds wonderful. I'd get to see double of all my best friends.
I wish I had your
Aaron, best
optimism.
Yes.
All right. So you guys have dallied and dillied as best you can, but still that persistent hum remains waiting for you in the future rooms.
Let's go down the stairs.
Let's go down the stairs.
Have some fun, cause some trouble.
Be careful.
Just to double check, torch use, is the torch that I was using to light still lit?
Yeah, it's if you're using it as a weapon, that consumes it. Unless if you're just lighting the torch and using it and putting it away, that's okay. We're just consuming when we're hitting things with it.
Okay, so the other torch that I smoked, because I have the light torch and the smoker torch.
Oh, then yeah, the smoker torch, I'd say you probably consumed that one to cause the attack.
Fair. Okay, thank you.
But your light one, you can just put the light out and use it again. All right.
So Adelaide would hold the light to the next room.
Excellent. No stealth in this one. As you guys light your way down the staircase, and it is getting darker, there's definitely no natural light that is able to penetrate this far down. You guys manage to get further down, and these walls are covered in honey. You can't lean on them without risking getting stuck. And you're not sure if this is dead bee body or actual honey anymore, as you hit the ground and the floor crunches under you. Looking at your feet, you see that this is just everything is honeycombs in here. And from the walls to the ceilings, you see dead larvae, and you see more of those bees that have the holes gouged in them and the honeycomb rebuilt out of their structure as if their own innards had been reduced to nothing. And they're clearly not thinking very well. And there's another swarm of them just further into that room as they turn to look at the light. And also at the very far back end of the room, you see what Letty was looking for, a queen bee, notable because it is 3 times the size of all these worker bees. It is larger than you are standing tall. It's clearly not able to fly, but its mass and bulk turns in your direction. And we're going to do one more wits check for this room.
This is quite the catacomb.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah. How long were you sitting on that
Letty
one for?
shoots Lagolla with the bee sting.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah. See, this is where that resolute test would come in.
When you watch this back on YouTube, you will see the look on my face of when I was holding on to that, because it dawned on me as you were talking. I was like, oh my God, I've got the best joke right now.
I was wondering how long. Like, I can't watch all your time, but yeah.
I don't know Derek's faces, but either he's really constipated or he's got a really funny bee joke that he just wants to let out. One of the two.
It was the bee joke. All right.
If I can interrupt real quick, I've been horrible at this. We just got rated by Laugh Love Lindy, so welcome Raiders.
Welcome Raiders.
Thank you.
Earlier, we were rated by AO1, and thank you as well for that raid.
Welcome to Perils and Princesses. It is very purple. And only a little bit scary. A little bit, really. All right. So as you guys kind of step down here, Gallicrow, you've rolled a 3. You are before the bee swarms. How is the rest of you looking? Letty?
5. I'm also before.
All good. Lagolla?
I rolled a 12, so I am after.
You are after, and Adelaide?
11 under 12. I go before.
That's
How unusual. There we go. All right. I might be a little bit biased, but I'm very used to Melissa rolling very poorly. so my saved order, I just had to switch a few things around.
Not me going
Melissa's on the bottom because I'm expecting to push her down more often. Sorry.
Just get her to make a check to jump or something. That'll do it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's just anytime I say jump.
To get the jump on the bees.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. All right. So you guys have 2 things in this area then. You've got the swarm of bees. Let's say if you're looking at the map, which you can see on the stream, join our streams on Twitch if you're watching on podcast. The staircase of honeycombs is where the swarm of bees are, and the queen bee is a little further back into the back pocket of the room. Gallicrow, Letty, and Adelaide, whomever would like to go first.
Is the queen like in shooting distance?
I'd say you probably need to get closer to her. You're going to need to move probably up to where the worker bees are before you can actually shoot the queen bee.
Okay, fair enough. We're going to say Adelaide.
Oh, I was just going to say, you guys know how to take out the groups of things real well.
So Gallicrow, I guess he will, as Adelaide says that, he goes, well, okay, friend, I'll try with the net again. And he pulls his sticky net out and tries to slam it into shape and then toss it over some of the bees.
All right, I'm going to take disadvantage with your grace check on this
No
one.
one should listen to Adelaide.
Just like a spidey web.
So I have the special ability Nimble, modify my virtue test to escape. No, that's to escape. Never mind. Or to attempt a combat antics like shoving, grappling, tripping, or acrobatics. So can I use my gift die since it's like grappling?
All right, so with the use of the gift die, I will take away the disadvantage. Yes, and we can just use the gift die, actually.
Sweet. All right. So I got a 2 on the gift
you get
die.
it back. So it's not very strong then with a 2, but you do get the gift die back. Let's say with this sticky net, give me a D4 roll to see how many you can catch in this one. Because it's not going to be as useful. So you get 2. You grab 2. This stickiness actually sort of adheres to 2 of the bees, and they kind of like get stuck and writher. And even as you pull it down into the honeycombs, they do not immediately turn and melt like the ones in the upper room. But your net has them, and they seem to be disabled, though, and slowly rotting away. Now, you don't think you'll be able to use that again until they're gone. All right, Letty and Adelaide, what are we thinking?
Do you have an idea, Adelaide?
Adelaide has a canvas sack and tie. So she's going to try to do a similar kind of thing with the other ones that are left.
Okay. A canvas sack and tie. So these guys are about half your size, but maybe up to 2 of them with a canvas sack. If you want to give me a grace check, and then we'll roll evens and odds.
Damn, it's race. I was hoping it was resolve.
No, I'm afraid it is grace this time.
Oh, boy.
Which is the same stat you would use for a jump.
Not doing that though.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I got a 9 and I needed a 9.
All right, excellent. So let's say evens is 1, odds is 2. Do you want to roll me another die and tell me if it's an even or odd?
Yep. Rolling a D4 and I got a 2.
Okay, so evens is, what did I say? Evens is 1? Or odds, evens is 2? Okay. You grab 2 of them in the sack, managing to quickly open it and suck these in and then tie it down before they're able to escape. And you kind of let the sack drop, and then you can see them wriggling and sort of trying to claw and roll towards maybe they last sensed you were. But right now they can't see and they cannot escape. So you think you've got another 2 down.
How many more are not yet accounted for, other than the queen, obviously?
There is, so these swarms are generic monsters of 10 bees.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess she'll just do what she's done before, like, Godmother, please. And see if she could find some semblance of earth. And see if she can just sort of like rain a barrage of it down on a few of these. Let me do my gift die.
Yeah.
It's a 3 this time.
Okay.
So that's 15 cubic feet. So I think, I think what I did last time was fine. If it's okay with you, just try to find like a big flat piece just to like bring it down, even if it breaks the earth as it comes down on them. Yeah,
so the catacombs themselves are going to be cracking and falling apart as you do this, as they are covering the stone of this floor. But yeah, so 15 cubic feet. There are still 6 left. I think that 15 is a little bit too much, but roll me a d6. We'll see how many you can kind of catch with this.
Yeah, another 3.
Another 3. So you actually slam 3 down and manage to fully squish them. And then rising, I guess, the stone back up, you can kind of see their bodies are twitching and withering. They don't look quite dead, but you don't think they were fully alive when you entered this room anyway. They just seem more resilient than the ones before. And and you have 3 remaining whose turn it now is. So these 3 swarms of bees, actually, before that, the queen, the humming and the buzzing elevates and it gets louder and louder. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Boop, boop. We are going to do Aaron with a 1. Aaron, I need you to give me a wit save.
This is going to go well.
How's your wits
Nope.
looking?
Not that good.
Okay,
far away are you?
as this
Pretty
humming
far.
and buzzing
6 off.
presses into your empty head and just starts to reverberate and rattle. And clearly, this queen bee is actually your friend, and you have to protect her from everything. And these bees that you put in your net are your friends, and they need to be released. Or maybe the bees in the sack, they need to be let go. You need to help the bees.
That's fair.
So
They are my new friends, after all.
they are your new friends. So you are sort of entranced by the queen for a round, and you are compelled to immediately move and act according to the caster's command. So you actually do get your action now. So they've sort of suggested that you release more bees. You can choose the sack or the net. Both of them are 2s, luckily. So it won't make much of a difference, but which one do you think Gallicrow would go for?
Gallicrow he runs over to his net. He's picking it up. He's like, new friends, come on, get out of there. You're going to hurt your wings. Get the honey off your wings. And he starts stroking their backs and trying to get the honey off of their wings as he
all right. And you 3 sort of watch as Gallicrow
hugs
does
one
this.
really close to him.
And you see him hugging this sort of decomposing bee, honey dripping down his shoulder, and the head like twitching at an odd angle. It's sort of membranes and mouth open up, and just honey pouring out of it, where the sort of the buggy eyes, one of them is actually pressed in and broken, and you can see even more of this golden fluid coming out of it. But he's hugging it as if it were a dear friend at this moment in time.
Look at my new friend, Letty.
And Letty will turn to Adelaide. Stop telling him to make friends with everybody because he will try. This is what happens.
It looks like he's showering in that golden liquid.
Yes, that's going to be a problem for after fight, Aaron.
Go ahead and make a quick note about an edit really fast. Get that joke out of it.
Fair. So we'll say, since Gallicrow is hugging one, we'll only have 5 to deal with, as the rest of them sort of buzz up around Gallicrow and then past him towards the rest of the party. They are going to go straight for who's hurt them. Adelaide, kind of. Oh, Letty as well. That's true. Letty's done the most damage recently, hasn't she?
No, technically it was the rocks.
Technically,
yeah,
they should be attacking the rocks.
Technically, it was the rocks.
They have no. I think they should roll a wits test to see if they know that I was controlling the rocks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Adelaide did very clearly put them in a bag, and that was very obviously done.
All right.
And also, welcome Raiders for Matt in the Hat.
Welcome, Matt in the Hat.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. I'm going to need, we'll say if there's 5 of them, I'm just going to do 1 attack as they swarm down and try to hit. They'll hit Adelaide, who has the 2 in the sack right next to her. If Adelaide can give me a quick grace at disadvantage with these 5 coming at her.
Oh, my Grace. It's always Grace. Grace.
Grace. Yep. With 3 stats, it's hard to have a dump stat.
It's either Will or Green.
Well, if you want to attack a lot of the time.
That's a fail. That's both were a fail. And 11
all right.
and a 15.
So as they
49.
come down and they are going to, you start feeling them land on you and stick in you, and one of their stingers pierces into you, and then it pulls out, and you see the bee that has stung you kind of falls over, and its legs twitch in the air before it stills a little bit. But that stinger did 4 points of damage to you.
Ouch.
Oh, this hurts.
And I'm afraid I need you to give me a D6 roll.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you for another roll. So this is a lot of rolls from you right now.
2 on the D6.
2. All right. As you feel this pulse of honeyed poison enter you, your own flesh kind of responds by getting this candy coating as you start to feel.
Did you say poison? It's not
it's technically a curse, not a poison. I'm just being descriptive with flavor.
Son of a biscuit.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
Continue
like
with your
the
description.
verb poison. Like you've been poisoned with a curse.
You've been technically okay.
I did not attend enough academy to understand this nuance. Poisoned with the curse.
Go pull out of a tree. Shut up, Lagolla.
I'm flavor texting the fact that the piercing it just needed to pierce you to curse
Continue
you.
describing the awfulness of this happening.
The awfulness of the so your skin, you start to feel like take on this honeyed coating, and looking down, it actually makes sense. You can feel like you're actually turning into brittle, and you realize it's peanut brittle, but that honeyed has given you this caramel coating. And then lovely bumps of things start to push up from your flesh, which are your peanuts. As you have your breath is rich and nutty, peanut pebbles under your skin like mosquito bites have risen. You're at level 1 candy curse.
Letty,
What's up?
You're like taffy, I'm like brittle.
You've been perforated with a stinger.
I want brittle. Oh, I like hard things.
I like our thing. All right.
I don't know if berries can grow out of brittle. This is maybe
If we survive, we can talk more about this, but maybe not right now.
As the bees kind of fly around, dive bombing you guys, but Adelaide is the only one that seems to have gotten pierced by them. And there's 6 that remaining. One of them is getting hugged by Gallicrow, who's going to get a result. Oh, sorry. Adelaide, one more roll, please. I do need a resolve as well.
No.
Yes.
She abstained.
I plead the 5th.
No.
9 under 2.
Oh, actually, you did ask about poison. This actually might be relevant now. The actual sting, other than the fact that these are candy curse creatures, and when they attack you, you get that curse. The sting itself is actually causing you to become woozy, and that I would argue would be a poison-like. So if you have a sort of an immunity or advantage, now is the time to let me know.
So my innate ability is lifeblood, and the positive of it is that I am immune to illness, infection, and poison.
All right. I would say this would be the poison part of that. So you are immune, and you don't have to do the result test. You are correct.
See, I was being snarky, but I was right. This stinger comes in, and then you just sort of see whatever the liquid was is just sort of gets squirted back out again. Your body just rejected it.
I think this needs to be censored.
Yeah. All right.
Adelaide's
and Lagolla.
really becoming a very gross princess.
Yeah, she's full of bumps and picking flesh bits off and oozing. And
well,
here, have my moles.
Her healing candies are going to have a nice, hard caramel coating now.
I could work my way up to eating rocks by eating her brittle.
There you go.
Sharpen the teeth.
Anyway, Lagolla, Lady Lagolla, it is your turn. You have 6 bees and 1 queen.
So, would I be able to do any kind of like wits check, or would my innate whisperer ability be able to help me understand what happened with Gallicrow?
Ooh. Now, Gallicrow isn't an animal, technically.
No, but it was the queen bee that was sending him like these
Yeah,
messages.
that's true. Give me a straight wits roll.
With advantage because of my whisper?
No, I'm letting you roll at all because of your whisper.
That is shit. Sorry, that's a 12.
I'm afraid of 12, not quite making it there. But that's not going to cost you because it's an innate ability. It's not going to cost you an action just to get that information. Unfortunately, you're not sure at this time.
Okay, well then that changes what I was going to attack. So I will.
It's going to attack Gallicrow.
No, I was going to see if attacking the queen would break him out of it, but we have to. That's in an alternate universe. In this universe, not Adelaide. Lagolla still kind of like swaying a little bit and squinting. She'll pull back an arrow, and then now. I want to attack one of the bees. Doesn't matter which one.
Yep.
Can I light the arrow on fire with Adelaide's torch before I let it fly?
Ooh, yeah, it'll consume the torch. Totally can do that.
Okay, then. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only torch that's burning, though?
Yeah,
So if you
your
can
light
see
is
the
about to
only
go
torch
out.
that's burning, that means then it's going to be completely dark for all of us on the next round.
That is true.
Do bees need light to see?
No, but we do.
We do.
Well, I have a torch in my bag, so I'm wondering if I could like extend my movement. Instead of moving, I could just move my torch out of my pack.
Okay, so if you want to consume one of your torches instead of Adelaide's and just use Adelaide's to light it instead of like a flint and steel, that's pretty much like I'll give you that for your movement.
Okay, yeah, then I will do that.
Okay.
It's grace for the bow, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's 13. I met it exactly.
You met it exactly. All right. And give me, so you're going to do 2 sets of damage here. Give me your arrow or your normal bow damage. And then because there's a torch attached, the fire should do an additional D4 of damage. And tell me which is which.
All right, so I got a 3 on the D6 and a 4 on the D4.
Okay,
So 7
lovely.
total.
So as you guys watch as Lagolla points this flaming arrow at the swarm of bees that remain sort of in the air, they're hovering near Gallicrow, she shoots and it hits one of the bees. And the thing with dead things is they tend to be drier than you expect. And for whatever reason, this honey is a liquid, but it's not keeping them from a blaze that spreads out across the swarm of bees, as that's enough damage to take the rest of them out. And the one that Gallicrow is currently cuddling, unfortunately, gets a spark land on it and it ignites in his arms and disappears.
So the
Friend had to go by.
Yeah, friend had to go by. Now, the queen bee hasn't really moved. She kind of shuffled a little bit, but you're not sure other than sort of trying to reach out to people. She doesn't, you haven't seen her do actions. So just as an FYI, and you do notice that to your sort of right, a little bit south of where you guys are standing right now, there is another entry into a passage. So you have options if you don't want to continue this fight. Gallicrow, Letty, and Adelaide, start of the round. You guys get to choose who goes first.
Is Gallicrow
Gallicrow.
like back? Like his head back?
It is for 1 round, you're compelled. So according to the cast command, you're currently not all there. You're not set to attack your friends, but the bees are your friends as well.
I don't know.
So
what to
Gallicrow
do.
will run
Should
over
we-
to the queen and give her a hug.
Okay. You hug the queen, and she seems to wrap her spindly little arms around you and draw you in.
Am I seeing this correctly? Is he hugging the queen?
Seriously, you
Yes.
guys gotta be you gotta be
She's
way
a new
precise
friend.
with your
She
language. You
May
just-
not be a best friend like you are my best friends, but could be a good friend.
Mm-hmm. That, I think, would be enough to trigger you guys as, though still in character, a little bit suspicious.
He's 8 days old. He's very impressionable.
Isn't he a bit young to be dating?
They're just friends.
I-
Stop trying to put a label on it.
But I don't know why. He knew that we were coming in here and we were fighting them, and I don't know why he's hugging them now.
Right.
Letty will move up
Mhm.
and get deranged and
I've got something I want to give back to her.
hand shaking will try to fire an arrow at you said the queen bee was really big.
Yep.
So she's gonna try to take a shot and see
All right.
if she can hit the bee. This
Uh,
is not my forte.
Go for
My
it.
hero. Okay.
This is
That is
grace,
a
right?
grace. Yes, that is grace check.
Okay, come on. It's 50-50. It's literally just 50-50.
You got this.
That's a 6. That's a
There you
success.
go.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So roll me
Nice,
the
nice.
damage, as this is the bee sting bow, I believe.
It's bee sting, but it's all I got for range. So
Yeah. All right. So just there we
5.
go.
Nice.
All right. So you got a 5 on a d6. That is, you see the sort of Gallicrow, your new friend, sort of shudders and vibrates around you. She lets you go, and you see her arm like reaching down and trying to grab near the back of her, but she can't reach that far. And you see an arrow sticking out, and you look back towards Letty, bow in hand. Your old friends, maybe not your friends, have just attacked the person that you want to protect. All right, and that's 5 damage, and I believe I need to do a save, or I am going to d20. There we go. That is a 6, that is the save of the queen bee. So you can kind of see that she shudders, but stands firm. She will still have her action. Adelaide.
Okay. Hand shaking.
Hi. She's still alive. I thought this was gonna. Gosh.
That was a great shot.
Okay.
Adelaide's gonna kind of look at what she's got, and she has. I'm trying to figure out what it is that I had. I got something from someone that has a D8. Now I cannot remember what it was, but I got. It wasn't the frying pan, because the frying pan was a D4.
Oh,
You
I
got
kept that.
a hatchet.
I kept it. That
A
was the
hatchet.
spearmint spear. Oh, a hatchet.
It was a
The
hatchet.
hatchet's a D6,
Yeah.
but yeah, you do have that.
D6. Okay. Yeah, I will take out the hatchet,
Mhm.
and I'm going to kind of come around to the side, and like she's just gonna sort of like
Mhm.
like get the hatchet like way up over her head, because
Yeah.
there's like little like arms that are like wrapping around our friend Gallicrow.
Ew, save me.
And so Adelaide's going to kind of come up to the side and be like, let go of my friend, and just try to like bring the hatchet out and try to like cut off these like little arms that are like holding him.
All right, give me a resolve test.
All right. Let's see.
Your favorite. No, save me. Gallicrow.
It's a 15 over
Never mind,
10.
she's weak. As your hatchet comes down, and sort of the bulk and fat of this queen repels it, and you just can't get like into it. The same way that the flubber would protect a lot of these sort of sea mammals and walruses, you're not able to get in here.
I also think it is the first time that she swung the hatchet, and so
Yes.
trying to
Also the first
lift it
time.
over her head and swing it down was not a
The blade was facing away from it. You have to turn it the other way.
And
Oh, that makes way more sense.
She grabs it by the actual blade and hits with
the
the handle.
the humming starts to intensify again, and Gallicrow, you kind of shake your head and you come to yourself for a moment. But Letty, I need you to do a wits, please.
Okay. Are you trying to match wits with me, are you? Well, get out of my head.
7. That's 7 under 15.
As it tries to, you feel something sort of trying to suggest you shoot Lady Lagolla to you, and you
Well, hang on a
manage to
second.
shake it off.
That's not a bad idea.
Now that you mention it.
Now that you
You know?
mention it. But
know
you're
what?
like, she's technically my friend, sort
You're looking-
acquaintance. Acquaintance
You
might
look
be,
like
friend
you're
might
in
be
deep
strong.
thought, Letty.
Yeah, Letty's just like pointing the arrow.
No, they always
Right.
teach you never aim at something you don't want to destroy. That looks
Oh,
new.
I get it. Oh, you're talking down to me again. Oh, yeah, sure.
And then just winks over at the queen bee.
I got you.
yeah. Save me. Lagolla, it is your turn.
I have one torch left, so I will try to light the queen on fire now that the others are out of the way.
Okay, so you kind of light this torch, run up, give me a resolve check, please.
No, I mean like with an arrow. Sorry, like
Oh.
light another arrow on fire.
Oh,
yeah,
I
I've
see,
left
I
out the
see.
vital part.
Yes,
playing
you
to my
did.
strengths.
Yes. Sometimes you might just want to try to hit something like Adelaide
No.
did. All right,
No.
give me a grace check.
That's a 5.
All right. With a
Yay.
5, you do manage to shoot it again. Give me the D4 of flame damage on top of the arrow damage, and that I believe is the last torch you have.
So 3 on the D4 and 5 on the D6.
So with this sort of additional fire damage, the queen bee, and it's also not completely alive, nature starts to alight, and you can start to smell the caramelization of burning sugar as this bee starts to scream in your minds and vibrate. And Gallicrow, who's right there, though now back to himself, is just a kind of standing right there before a wall of flame consumes right in front of him the torso and face of the queen, slightly more intact than most of the worker bees had been, but she starts to just turn to cinder in front of you. You've taken out the beehive.
I'm glad I hit the right one. I'm still seeing double.
Jesus.
Well, Lady Lagolla, that was amazing. I've never seen anything like that. And I mean, I've been around for quite a long time.
Sorry I got fire so close to you.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I am very flammable, and you probably could have easily killed me. But, we're friends.
I would never intentionally kill you. I hope you know that.
I totally don't know that at all.
Now, Gallicrow, that
Gallicrow?
friend bee that you had earlier that drooled all over you, I am going to need a resolve test.
Oh, yeah. Sure. This will be fun. Yeah, that's a critical fail.
That would be a critical fail. As you feel some sort of hardening happening within sort of the spaces between the branches that make up your body, I need you to roll me a d6.
That's 3 of us, I think, are cursed now. 3 of us are cursed. Only the goy is left.
5.
Are you going to become a golem?
All right. Actually, this is going to be very interesting as instead of this starts to harden and then soften as you kind of look down and everything starts to be plushy and pillow-like, and you realize you're turning into a bit of a marshmallow. And you find as you reach out and touch something, even the lightest of touches is leaving an impression on your squishy body. You reach out and touch Letty and then draw back, and the sort of the rocks that form up her body, there's impressions of them in your hand.
This is so cool. Letty, let me touch your face. It's your face. It's your face.
Okay. Oh, hey, it is my
It's
face.
right
Look at-
there. That's your
Wait,
face.
is that what
That's
I
what you
like?
look like. Yeah.
Oh,
Such a
okay,
pretty
well,
princess.
yeah, I think it's
I
not,
may
not
change
so
my
bad.
name to Stay Puff.
Okay, you're 8 days
Stay
old.
puff.
You're still welcome to change and rename yourself.
And
Gallicrow.
he jumps up and throws himself down just to check at the new impressions he gets in his body.
You have
Adelaide, give me a
honeycombs
hug.
everywhere.
I was sure, but why did you go hug the bees? We
They
came
are my
in
new
here to-
friends. You said, let's
Why?
make friends. They said, make friends. I made friends.
You did.
They were
make
very
friends.
friendly.
They were to you.
Yeah, Letty has pointed out that maybe I didn't say that quite right. I think that was an option. If we weren't going to fight them, we could have tried talking to them and making friends with them. But we don't start fighting them and then hug them. It sends a mixed message.
Oh, but you've got to make these things more clear, because I thought, they were
That's
very
fair.
friendly and they needed a hug.
Well,
Where do you,
really?
As you guys talk and start moving towards the opening, you realize looking down here, this is completely natural caverns that don't have that same honey coating that you're now leaving. But you do see some of it like trailing as if something has walked in here and then walked through these. But the trails and the sort of footprints are everywhere. You realize they go up on the ceiling, they go down on the ground, they go through these tiny side tunnels, and you're not sure how they fit through there and got everywhere. And this will be at Letty, but I do need a wayfinding navigation roll of wits,
Okay.
which I believe you get advantage of because
I
you have a
do.
staff.
My staff. My petrified rocky wood staff.
As you start to travel through
it's a
these
fail on the first one.
intestine-like tunnels.
9. Good.
9, yeah, I figured. As you start traveling through these intestine-like tunnels, some of them just branching off randomly in this dark area, Adelaide's torch lighting the way. You listen and you look at these sticky footprints and see where there's fewer of them and where there's more in dense patterns, and kind of tapping the ground a little bit here and there, and with your rock nature listening for echoes and seeing where the density of this natural cavern, dug cavern is. You find yourselves navigating your way through and coming out into this open, dark cavern, stalactites and stalagmites on either side, pressing down like teeth in a mouth. And you hear this sort of shuffling and scuttling, and you look ahead and you see a rat, and it's quite large. And you're like, okay, so there's the Rat King. This thing is probably 5 times the size of us. And then you kind of like are able to focus behind it, and you see another rat on top of it, and then another rat on the side of it, and another rat. And they all seem to be moving together in this one massive flesh ball of rats. And they're somehow attached together, and you're not quite sure. And then you kind of get a glimpse of it as it rotates around its home, sort of moving things this way and that, and their tails are all knotted together, which is a rat king's tail. And its beady little eyes start to like bug out and twitch, and its body you can see is filled with sort of like maybe licorice on some of them, and other ones it looks like there is filled with sort of this rock candy coating, and one maybe a marshmallow rat, but they're all sort of this ever-changing face of rats as it rotates around this way and that way. And with your light coming through, one of them first notices, and then the other one all turn towards you. And they are almost like a hive mind as they all focus on you. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Adelaide,
dear.
should I make friends with this?
No.
Okay.
Hey,
Just want to
Honestly,
make
if
sure.
we can make friends and like settle this peacefully, this seems
hey, let's just cut your tail off. No problem.
yeah, it'll
Also,
grow back.
Sorry, I have art for this. There you go.
Which one is the stalagmite and which one is the stalactite? I can never remember this.
So
Wow.
the stalactite holds tightly to the ceiling, and the stalagmite mightily fists its way up the butthole.
Wow, Letty,
Yeah.
I can't believe how different you sound.
Yep.
I had a frog in my throat. It was
Why
I
are
always
you, when
remember
did
that
you
like
start to eat?
an M is like the ones on the bottom, or like an M. So that's how I always remember.
It's a good,
like,
it's a good
and then
mnemonic.
like the T, like the tail of the T hangs down. So that's like how I remember
I like mine
stalactite and
better.
stalagmite.
I like holding on tight and mighty fist.
very cool.
But yes, you guys have found the Rat King. Counting them from afar, it appears to be 7 different rats of various candied nature, all tied together by their tails, which is a natural phenomenon that happens in real life. I learned about it in comic books, believe it or not.
Fascinating.
Yep.
That's fascinating.
And it's the Rat King.
Okay. Do they have a crown or anything? Or is it just like a title?
No, it's
Okay.
the tail specifically that will dictate it
Yeah.
as a Rat King.
Okay. Cool. Well,
Nice.
we'll die to this next week, I suppose. That'd be great.
Well, yeah. That's why I let you guys do a quick little picnic at the top of this session. And for now, let us go to Aaron. What's happening with Garblag?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Over on Garblag Gabe's YouTube channel on Thursday, you should be able to see Lewis back in the GMC as he continues his One Ring campaign, where they are a bunch of dwarfs out for a party in Moria. Then next Tuesday, come back. Pete will be back in the GMC for some more Hyperborea. In the near future, we hope to have Wednesdays back for some Judge Dredd, and then after the One Ring, we should be jumping into some Otherscape. If you got any questions, come over and jump onto the Gartopia Discord channel, and we're all there all the time, and happy to chat.
I am muted. There we go. Jeff, how about Lollygaggers?
Hey, us. Yeah. So a couple things. First, I'm going to start off with our dear friend Steven has been making a game. It's called Huckleberry RPG. It's an awesome action cinematic horror Western game. If you are interested in that kind of stuff, or if you're not, I don't really, you should go check the game out regardless. HuckleberryRPG.com, or you can look it up over on DriveThruRPG. I think we got 3 adventures out, just released a new one last week. And there's a big update coming later in the month of March that's got all sorts of new things for GMs to use to make awesome, cool little scenarios themselves. Then as for our streaming schedule, next game we have is on Thursday. You can see a bunch of people here playing through some Swords of the Serpentine. Friday, Aaron is going to hop back into the GMC, run us through some Dragonbane. And then Saturday, we should be doing some more Han Cluster for Savage Worlds, starting up our second of the 2 planned scenarios we're going to run. And then next Monday, speaking of Otherscape, we've got our own Otherscape campaign down in Arizona Bay. And that's where we're at. And don't forget, check out the YouTube page as we got all of our games up there, including our older games that have been around for a while, but also we just started up Magnus Archives.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Steven, the very Huckleberry RPG man himself, is running us through some Magnus Archives. And so we just put that up for the first time today. You can see some of our shenanigans. And that's
And set
probably
in
an accurate
Germany,
term.
which is unusual.
It's in the Germans. Yes.
It's in Germany.
It is superior.
It's very
Yes.
cool setting.
Yeah, we're very excited. But that's it for us. Thank you, Kipser. We're going to go ahead and do some raiding. Let's see. We're going to raid Dorktales, I think. They're playing some... I don't know what they're playing, but we're going to go raid them. So follow the raid. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Whatever they're playing. See you.
It's
Good
a
game.
game.